All right, y'all. This is simply a video of me reflecting on what I'm about to say. Uh, it's just me wondering about how could we possibly be here. And I know the first thing that everybody thinks, I know the first thing people say is, well, we were created and there's a God. But listen to this. First things first. If there is a God that created this, let's just say, then who made God? Where did God come from? How did God come about? Just saying if. But the thing that boggles my mind the most is existence. How in the world did existence just come to be? Or, see, when I say come to be, that doesn't mean that it ever came to be. There's no proof that it came to be. It could have always been here. But then you ask, what are the chances? What are the chances? And I'm trying to get some sun here because I'm hardly ever out in the sun. And it's freezing. It's like 10 degrees. But what are the chances of cells existing and DNA and dirt and water and all these things? Like, let's just think about it. Let's not just say God right away. Let's just not say, well, there's some kind of intelligence right away. We can't rush to conclusions here. We do not know. That's the most truthful, brutal, honest answer any of us can give is we don't know. But think about it. This earth, where in the world did water come from? Where did all this water on the earth come from? You know, it's kind of like, was there just water floating around and then dirt was floating around and it somehow over time came together and glued together because of gravity? Then where does this gravity come from? And this is why I tell people, when I say that I am agnostic, I am not saying that I believe or I follow the guidelines of any religions. I am saying that the way that I mean agnostic, and I think every one of us are agnostic people. We just don't want to admit that we are because we really don't know. But here's how I see this. I cannot say that there is or there isn't something that put this into action or made this or did this. But then yet again, if something did do this, then what made or put that thing into action? You know, we say, okay, God made this and a creator did this. Okay, well, who made and created God, or the creator or the intelligence that might have did this? Who created that intelligence? Who created that intelligence? And so on and so forth. And you come to this conclusion where, okay, we make video games and computer games, and the computer has no idea because it's not an intelligence. It can't, a computer can't think for itself. It has a chip in it that, you know, does whatever it does, but it can't think for itself. We can think of things, but it just still, there is no way that anybody can ever know these things. It's impossible. We can't go back far enough, and we can't see ahead, and we don't know. We do not know. If this is it, then this is it. But I still ask myself, How in the world did a man and a woman come about? How in the world did a man grow a penis and a woman grow a vagina, and the penis fits exactly in the vagina, and there's these magnesium and copper and vitamin D that we get from the sun that our bodies need, and all this stuff? How in the world? It's so sophisticated. Like, it's so sophisticated. And this is what kind of makes me think that there is something, some type of intelligence or thing that did this. But my dilemma is, what made that thing? It doesn't make any sense. It just, when you really think about it, it blows your mind so much. And if you go back to the source, or you try to go back to the source, there's no way that you can do it. It's impossible. It's absolutely impossible. And listen, I'm going to keep talking in this video. Bear with me here. My hands are freezing. I mean, it's like 10 degrees out here. So the more and the more that I think about this, I don't think I'm ever going to be able to call myself an atheist, and I'm never going to be able to call myself someone that says there is a God. I'm 100% sure, because if I said that, I would be lying. Even though, I can't lie to y'all, a part of me, a lot of me wants there to be some kind of something that is different or better or more of something than this, more of something than just going to a job every day and waking up and doing the same things. And you don't have to do the same things. We're all the leaders of our destiny. We all have our own destiny right in our hands. Even though we're all going to die, we all know this. We all know that we're going to perish one day. And then the whole topic about life and death. It's just these things, like, how many of us really, truly think about this stuff all day, every day? Because I think about it all the time. I can't get it off my mind. It's like I said, it's like that thorn in my mind. It's there. And if I don't look here, I'm not used to looking at this camera. I know that probably don't matter to a lot of people, but it's like that thorn in my mind that it's constantly there, and it's just there. I can't help that it's there. But just when you think about this, when you think about time and a beginning, what is a beginning? What does a beginning mean? What does that mean? If you go back in time, how long was the sun not there before the sun came into existence? How long did it take the planets to do what they did and whatever? But then there's another side of the issue where people say God created it, a creator created it, an intelligence created it. All these religions say that God created it and put all this into motion. Well, sorry to bust your bubble, but there are thousands and thousands of different gods that people, worship and think exist and are real. So I can't go for any of that. It's just when you start thinking for yourself, you will realize these things. And there was a quote that J. Krishnamurti said, and I forget what he said. He said something about, if you believe, then you won't know truth, or those who believe will never know truth. I forget what it is, but believing is nothing. We all can believe that. I can believe that a bee's gonna come out of the sky right now and hit me in my face. That doesn't mean it's gonna happen. You know, I can believe that anything. I can believe that a car is gonna come here and pick me up and drive me back to my house. That doesn't mean I'm gonna see any cars. You know, I can sit here, I can believe all day, and I can say I believe in something, but what does that mean? What does that really mean, that we believe in something? You know what I'm saying? And see, a lot of people, they don't want to hear this stuff. They run from this kind of stuff. They won't allow it in, you know, they won't allow it around them, because I know how people are. They want to think that they know what they're thinking, and they want to think that that's true for themselves. And listen, if that's what people want to do, if that's what you want to do, you can do that. You can do anything that you want to do. You can do anything you want to do. You're the leader of your own life. You are in control of your destiny. Some people would say they're not in control of their destiny. And they cut this whole bamboo field down here. There was bamboo all here, and I wanted to make a chair or a bed or something out of it, you know, sometime when I got some tools, and they took it all down. Look. They cut it all down. This whole thing was bamboo trees. There's still a couple over here. Look, right here. I want to show y'all this real quick. I never seen bamboo around like that. You know, it's usually only in other countries. But look, right here. It wasn't like this. It was way thicker. Yeah, it was way thicker than this. And they cut it all down. They cut it. I don't know why they would cut it down. It was beautiful. It looked good. You know, it's stupid. But yeah, I said, I got to come out here and do a video about this, because it's just something that boggles my mind to the fullest. And I did a video a while ago, and I don't know how many people watched it, but do we really think about this? Really think about what I'm going to tell you? And I'm just getting you to think about it and reflect on it. That's all. You don't have to make a decision or any of that stuff, blah, 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 you know? But listen to this. Whoa, it's icy out here. If it takes a man and a woman to make a baby, where did the first man and woman come from? And a baby, see, if we're talking about the first human being, where did the first human being come from? There is no way that a baby can take care of itself. There's no way. So if the first baby came about, how did a woman and a man come about? If there was just one person from the beginning, this makes nobody can answer this question. If it started with one person, then you can't make another baby without another person. You can't make a baby without a man and a woman. So what? A man and a woman just came about and made a baby? And then if this baby came about, there had to have been two. So how did two come about at the same time? And then listen to this. A baby cannot survive in the desert, the forest, the tropics. They cannot survive. Animals would eat it. If there was animals yet, they couldn't survive. They would be out in the elements. There's no houses. If we go back, there's no houses. Even if it's warm, they can't feed themselves. They can't walk. They can't drink. So they will die. So who nurtured the first child? Who nurtured the first child? this is where nobody has an answer for this. Nobody. And see, this is where my agnostic leaning towards a creator or a God or some kind of intelligence comes into play for me, because I can't say that we just came from, cells and stuff like that, because it would have had to take in two people, a man and a woman. But how would cells know to grow a penis and a vagina? How would they know to grow sperm and an egg? How would it know to the DNA? How would it know to take one of the chromosomes out to be either a man or a woman? I don't know how it goes, but how would it know this? And see, this is where I probably will always be an agnostic. Sometimes I lean more towards atheism and saying this is it and this all came about by itself and it was always here. And then sometimes I lean towards there being a creator and there's being some kind of intelligence, or there being some kind of something that put this into action, or did this, or did make man and woman. And I really don't want to say this because I don't want to turn this into a religious talk. But the account of, see, here's the thing. A lot of what is in the Bible, there was things before that were similar stories, that were similar things. You gotta look into this stuff. I can't explain it all on a video. It would take hours to explain it. It'd take a while. I couldn't do it. But there's similar stories. But the only thing that if I was leaning more towards there being a God or a creator, the only way that I can see it is that man, it came from the dust of the earth, and if we're going by that, but I can't believe that though. There's just something in me that we're talking about magic here. We're talking about abracadabra and bringing something to life here and all these things. And maybe that's true, Maybe there is a creator or a being or God that did that, but he don't let it be known. It doesn't let it be known. And I say he because that's what I'm used to growing up with. That's what I'm used to saying. That's what I'm used to, being indoctrinated with, is that. But it's always a two-sided thing with me. That's why I named my channel what I named it again. That's why I named it Somebody But Nobody. I named it, it's just like yin and yang. Everything's yin and yang, and I can't choose a side, and I can't say that I'm a believer. This whole believing thing, I think, is bogus, It's like, live your life. If there is a creator, if there is something that did this, then it made you to be you, no matter what. We cannot stop the inevitable. We can't flick our fingers, or we can't pray something away or pray for something to come. We can't ask it. We can't think it. The only way that things can happen in this life is if we do something or we act upon it. God's not going to do anything for anyone in this life. I know, because I waited for God to do something. If there is this God, I waited for God to do something in my life, and nothing ever happened until I did something. So if there is this thing, then it kind of stays away, and it leaves us to be here to do what we're doing and what we do. And if there is this creator, then the creator is not all good and is not all evil. It's both things. Because all this, if this all goes back to the creator or God and all that, if it goes back to that, then that is responsible for how we are. So if I make a basketball that's lopsided and it doesn't bounce right, and I made that thing, then it's my fault because it's not bouncing right. It's lopsided. So if there is something that made this or did this, then it made some people to be how they are and to do some of the things they do. And this whole choice thing, sometimes that doesn't even work because some people's brains are different than other people's brains. Some people had brain injuries, like myself. I had a brain injury, and it completely changed my personality forever. I turned into a different person. And I don't talk about that too much, but I used to be a lot different than what I am right now because of a brain injury. It had nothing to do with, God or me thinking stuff or praying or anything that I did. It had nothing to do with that. It had to do with my brain getting hit really hard, and it changed me. So some people are born the way they're born, and they do the things they do, and I see it. If anything, I see it all. If there is something, I see evil, I see good, I see wicked, I see righteousness, I see life, death, I see everything as if there is something that did this or made this. I see that thing as everything. I don't see it as all good, and I don't see it as all bad. Excuse me. Do you understand what I mean here? I can't see it as just one thing. And if you're still seeing it, if you're still seeing this whole picture as just one thing, then what does that say? What does that say about us? What does that say about you and me? When we just say, oh, it's this way because I say it's this way. No, it's this way because it's this way. There is no, oh, I say it's this way because it's this way. No, it's this way because this is the way of nature. This is the way of life. And some things are very cruel, and some things are, oh, all right. And some things are very generous, and some things are very light-minded. Some things are very heavy-minded. That guy scared me. If he wouldn't have scared me like that, I wouldn't have responded like that, but he scared me. Yeah, because I'm walking here, and, I don't know what, people driving and stuff are doing. But anyway, he threw me off. He threw my train of thought off. But that's cool. But anyway, just the more that I think about this, it's really, really weird. It's really weird. The more that I think about all this, I'm of two minds. I'm more convinced that there isn't anything and that this all was here and this all came into action, and cells and DNA and everything that makes us us is kind of like, quote, God. Or I'm thinking like, my goodness, there gotta be something here. Like, this just couldn't have came to be. It's like, how is all of this here? How do we have the ability to ask ourselves or tell ourselves, where did all this come from? Look at the birds over here. Look at these trees. Look at my eyes looking around. I can think. I'm breathing. There's blood flowing through my body right now. My nose is smelling. I can raise my arm if I want. I can do this. I can do anything. And it's, the more that I sit here and think about it, I say, on the one hand, this is incredible. This is awesome. This is beyond me. But then on the other hand, of the other side, when we flip the coin from heads, everything's, going great. Everything's looking up. We say, okay, well, life's, dandy and all these great things. But then when you flip the coin to tails, then it becomes a totally different thing where I start doubting everything. And I start saying, there's no way that this is what people are saying that it is with certain things. And I look into it and I kind of, I can't say with cocky arrogance that I disprove it, but I look into it myself and I say, well, this is probably wrong. There's something here that's not clicking right. There's something here that these people that are saying what they're saying, they're not understanding because they're not looking into it for themselves. They're just saying that they know. They're saying that they have an answer for something that they think they have an answer for. They have these beliefs that they think is real, and if you say anything against those beliefs, or you talk the opposite of those beliefs, or you try to have a normal conversation and actually talk about these things, have a session where you have a discussion, where you, what is the word I'm looking for? Not theater. When you talk about stuff, debate. It's like, let's debate this thing. If there is something, or even if there isn't something, let's debate this. Let's talk about it. It doesn't mean we got to kill each other or hurt each other or destroy stuff or look at someone like they're the scum of the earth because they don't think or believe what we believe. Or we go about doing all these things because we believe in something, and if somebody says the opposite, or if somebody goes against that or thinks differently, then you just blow them off and say, nah, I can't have anything to do with that. I got to keep doing what I'm doing because this is right. I've been believing this and I've been living with this my whole life, so I can't I can't do that, because then I'm going to have to change my mind. I'm going to have to do something different. I'm going to have to be another person. I'm going to have to tell somebody off. I'm going to have to, do this. And I don't come out here. I don't want people, I don't really want people to hear me, but I don't have nowhere else to go. And I come out here and talk. But you know what? We need to hear this. This is what the world needs to hear, is this type of message. We don't need to hear any more about starting wars. We don't need to hear any more about living in fear and what all these different things are doing and all these different conspiracy theories and all this stuff. We don't need any more of that. It's time to start thinking outside of the box, even though there isn't too many things that can probably be outside of the box. There's not too many people doing that. And this is our problem. This is just one of our problems. We just stay how we stay, and then there's nothing that's ever, if you're in this repeating cycle and you're saying the same stuff, then it's always going to be the same stuff, and you're always going to expect the same stuff. And it's cool if people do some of that. If they wake up in the morning and they drink their cup of coffee and they get a shower and they go to work and they do what they got to do. I don't have any problem with any of them types of things. That's how they're living. But I'm talking about these concepts that boggles the mind and that are mysteries and things that we don't understand. Right away, we say that it's God. We use the word God. Excuse me. We use the word God, or we use the word creator and stuff like that. And like I said, I won't lie to you. There is a part of me, I told y'all, I'm always of two minds. There is a part of me that desperately wants there to be a creator. Man, somebody just got in an accident or something over here. A loud bang. You can probably hear it. I don't know what that is, a dumpster. But there is a part of me that wants there to be something besides this, and wants there to be some kind of paradise or some place where things are different that we don't understand yet, that we can't put our finger on. But then at the same time, I tell myself, I'm not really special. I'm not really anything. I'm not chosen. I'm not all these things that we call ourselves, that our ego says to ourselves. Even though I still say things myself, it might just be me with a swagger. I just feel a certain way, and I'm just speaking and saying something. But it doesn't mean that I believe in that or I'm associating myself with it. It's just for a time that I'm saying these things. But then right away, we want to put these words and we want to put what we think to it. And if we could just go the opposite of what, others are thinking or what we're thinking, I think that there's a lot more to this than just the things that we're doing and thinking. And does it do anything? Does it really matter and all that? No, I don't think that it does. But if I say that it matters or it doesn't, then I'm judging the situation. If I say that I understand this completely, then I'm boasting, I'm bragging because I don't understand everything. So it's always this back and forth thing. It's always, as I'm sitting here in the sun and it's gleaming upon me, I say, how is this? How in the world did this come to be? How in the world did this happen? But then on the other hand, I'm like this hedonistic nihilist where I want to get everything I possibly can out of this life because I am not hoping that there's something else. See, I died to that idea. Even though I want to get the most out of now and I want to enjoy everything as much as I can now, I don't have this hope because I don't know. I don't want to fool myself into thinking that I know. And if there's nothingness, I won't know. I won't know when I'm going if there's nothingness. And if there's something, well then there's going to be something. What control do any of us have over life and death? What control do we have over the day that we're going to die? What control do we have over really anything? I mean, we can make choices and we can think about this kind of stuff, but really, if we really admit it, we don't have control over nothing. We're just flesh, blood, bone, and water, walking, talking, speaking a bunch of stuff, acting like we're important, saying things to each other, thinking that we're things. And even I still do it, and I'm going to do it because I'm a human. That's what we do. That's what human beings do. But a lot of us, I think we're fooling ourselves. We're telling ourselves things that we really don't know, but we say that we do. We're thinking a lot of stuff that we have it all together when we don't. And we're saying that we know the answer when we don't have a clue. So does that make any